this is the surveillance equipment and of the digital tropo system. The digital tropo system enables commanders for quick action, quick reaction, and of course face any changing circumstances in a fast-moving battle.
It is BMP-2 now, which is the infantry combat vehicle led by Major Yogesh Samal, Sena Medal. In fact, it's a unique combination which provides mobility to the infantry soldier, which can match the mobility of the mechanized columns. The two have to move together for success, infantry as well as the mechanized columns. And therefore, a great relief to the 14 Kumaon, which is a mechanized infantry battalion, which gives great mobility, as I was mentioning, to the marching columns. Lieutenant General T.N. Raina, Padma Bhushan, MVC, was the Chief of the Army Staff, also belonged to this battalion. 16 battle honors, 78 gallantry awards to his credit, 1 Mahavir Chakra, 1 Kirti Chakra, 2 Veer Chakras, 2 Shaurya Chakras, and 4 Sena medals. There's the VIP gallery. Paras. The 9 paras you have seen, having been honored earlier, but this one is led by Major Prashant Srivastav. Sudhir Kumar, Ashok Chakra recipient for this day, belong to this wonderful battalion, the 9 paras. Special forces of the Indian Army are seen for the first time on Rajpath. Para commandos are hand-picked volunteers from the entire army, from all armed services. No wonder then that they are called the Daredevils, known from a distance in their red berets. They are recipients of 2 Ashok Chakras. Paratroopers are ready for airdropping. The combat skydivers are seen jumping in their jumping outfit from 25,000 feet. Parachute regiment, which provide mobility and enthusiasm to the other columns. Whenever they are in trouble, paratroopers come in with great result.
Subedar Prem Singh is commanding the next contingent of snowmobiles. President accepting that salute. Snowmobiles, of course, extremely important in snowy areas and high terrain areas which abound a long part of our border, and they are in recent times playing an increasingly important role in getting our troops to the right position in that difficult terrain and making them even more lethal. And immediately behind the snowmobile contingent is the Mine Protected Vehicle, or MPV as it's called, the Casper Mine Protected Vehicles, which carry troops, protecting them from mines and improvised explosive devices. In fact, the troops can even use their weapons effectively even when they are passing over these IEDs or mines. These vehicles are a great asset in counterinsurgency operation, and a bird's eye view from the top of the India Gate of the entire march past, and of course the mounted columns that we've been seeing, making its way onto India Gate and then further on to Chandni Chowk and Red Fort.
In comes the Indian Military Academy. The marching contingents begin with them, the alma mater of the tens of thousands of permanent commissioned officers of the Indian Army. These young men leading the contingent in their blue patrols are the future officers of Indian Army. Indian Military Academy is taking part in this parade after a gap of 37 years. Leading them is Academy Under Officer Amardeep Singh. Established in 1932, it has caused the Indianization of British Army. The next one, of course, is Armored Regimental and Artillery Center Band. The combined band of the two centers is led by Subedar Dungar Ram of the Armored Regiment. They are playing Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, composed by Captain Ram Singh of Indian National Army.
And this is the Brigade of Guards. Pehla Hamesha Pehla. First is always first. The Brigade of Guard have the unique honor of having President of India as their Colonel-in-Chief. And of course, President of India is watching his own regiment as he acknowledges the salute. The Brigade of Guards was founded by Field Marshal Cariappa. And followed by Brigade of Guard is the Punjab Regiment, the oldest regiment of Indian Army. The contingent has been commanded by Major Arun Avasti. He is the son of the parade commander of the day, Major General S.K. Avasti, GOC Delhi area. This regiment was raised in the later half of 18th century and has won a large number of awards, including 18 Mahavir Chakras. Very smart. The Punjab Regiment is indeed the pride of Indian Army.
Immediately after that, the Madras Engineers and Punjab Regimental Center Band. Bandmaster is Subedar Major Mangal Singh of Punjab Regiment, and they are playing the tune Veer Jat. Captain Balwan Singh, MBC of 18 Grenadiers, approaching the saluting days. They are the Grenadiers. This officer has been decorated with Mahavir Chakra for his valor during Operation Vijay in the capture of Tiger Hill. Their motto is Sarvada Shakti Stali, Shakti Shali, I beg your pardon. This regiment has earned, among other decorations, 3 Paramveer Chakras, 2 Ashok Chakras and 5 Mahavir Chakras, 4 Kirti Chakras and 151 other gallantry awards. The Grenadiers were raised way back in 1779. And
Following the Grenadiers are the Jat Regiment, led by Lieutenant Gaurav Singh. You can see a lot of Gaurav in his heart and pride in his eyes. Their beautiful tunics. 34 battle honors they have received. 17 Jat has won the Chief of Army Staff citation in of Vijay. 8 Mahavir Chakras, 5 Kirti Chakras, 38 Veer Chakras, 15 Shaurya Chakras. That is right of Jat. His mechanized infantry and medical corps centers band led by Subedar T.V. Khandkar of Army Medical Corps. They're playing Shakti.
And this is a beautiful view of the marching columns as they come from Rajpath Bhavan side. And this is the Sikh Regiment, commanded by Captain Akash Khazanchi, presenting his salute to the President of India in their crimson turbans. And their regiment contingent looks very smart and very, very powerful way of marching indeed. The Sikh Regiment is a winner of number of awards, and they have produced great number of sportsmen as well as very great number of soldiers and officers. And this is the Dogra Regiment, commanded by Lieutenant Ritesh Katoch, and their war cry is Jwala Mata Ki Jai. The Dogras have won a number of awards, including 9 Mahavir Chakras and 8 Kirti Chakras. Once again, the bird's eye view of the marching column. And this is again the Dogra Regiment presenting his salute. The Dogras have proven their birth, themselves in a number of battlefields, and this is Prime Minister discussing with the Vice President.
And that is Subedar N.B. Gurung of the Garhwal Rifles Center and Rajput Regimental Center Band, and they are playing the tune Almora. It's a combined band. In addition to the marching contingents, it's the band that provides the beat and of course the color. And this is the Bihar Regiment, commanded by Captain Navneet Singh. Their war cry is Bolo Bajrang Bali Ki Jai. It's a highly decorated regiment which has won 2 Ashok Chakras and 8 Kirti Chakras, 11 Veer Chakras, 3 Param Vishish Seva medals, among a large number of other awards. Extremely smart, marching down Rajpath towards India Gate. The Bihar Regiment.
After Bihar come in Mahar. There you are, Major Om Prakash in all his grandeur, leading his regiment with great honor. A regiment with great traditions. It has produced two army chiefs, namely General K.V. Krishna Rao PVSM and General Sundarji PVSM ABC. 9 battle honors during the post-independence period. 1 Paramveer Chakra, 4 Mahavir Chakra and 5 Paramvishnu Seva medals. Jammu and Kashmir Rifles and Maratha Light Infantry Brigades Regiment's band, now led by Subedar Uttam Khanjanwala, playing Deshon Ka Sartaj Bharat.
And this is the contingent of Ladakh Scouts who made a very great name in the Operation Vijay at Kargil recently. Major Sonam Wangchuk won his Mahavir Chakra, the hero of Chor Batla, in this operation. They received the Chief of the Army Staff banner and their war cry is Kiki Soso Largyola. And this is the Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry Regiment commanded by Captain P.G. Waghela, presenting his salute to the President of India. They have won number of battle honors and 1 unit citation, including 11 Mahavir Chakras. The Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry marching towards India Gate.
Subedar Major Sham Bahadur Thapa is leading the 14 Golkha Training Center and 11 Golkha Regiment and Rifle Center band. Playing the tune Rahat. Immediately following this band is the 14 Golkha Training Center, which is being led by Major Manraj Singh. They have a very powerful motto of better to die than to be a coward. Kayar Hunu Panda Marno Ramro, which is exactly what their war cry and motto is. This center trains soldiers for the 5 battalions, each of the 1st and 4th Golkha Rifles, as well as 1 Rashtriya Rifles battalion.
1 Paramveer Chakra, 12 Mahavir Chakras and 30 Veer Chakras. The band now in front of the salute is from Jammu and Kashmir.
Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry and Bengal Engineering Group band coming in, led by Subedar H. Gurung of Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. They play Hastelusai. And following them is 105 Infantry Battalion of the Territorial Army, the Rajputana Rifles as they are known as, led by Lieutenant Vikram Singh. Territorial Army have done tremendous service in upkeep of law and order. In fact, they took part with great aplomb in Op Cactus Lily 1971 operations. And of course, Op Rakshak in Punjab and Rajasthan. Great traditions for second line of defense in India.
1 Ati Vishish Seva Medal, 3 Vishish Seva Medals, 1 Sena Medal and a host of other awards. And now approaching
And from here,
the
we see
base.
the pride, the symbolic pride of India, Indian Army, the tableau from Kargil, which is coming in front of us, is being presented by Indian Army, depicting the victory at Kargil.
The tableau is the victorious Indian soldier with his awesome
In front,
prowess
we can
and
see
die-hard image.
A soldier
Behind him,
holding the flag, the sign of victory, presenting his salute to the President of India and braving the chill of the winter and the bullets of the enemy. Here are the soldiers climbing the steep wall of stone to conquer the Tiger Hill and a number of other points in Kargil. This supreme sacrifice will always remain in the hearts of the nation. And we can hear the sound of the guns, the flight of the planes above. And here is the fighter aircraft giving them close support. That's MiG-21 giving them close support right from top. And the victorious Indian Army stands victorious indeed. And here are the guns, the famous FH-77B firing across onto the targets on the snowy heights, allowing for the soldiers to cross the obstacles and conquer the hill. And right as we see, the soldier has conquered the hill, and with that we come to the Naval Marching Contingent commanded by Lieutenant Commander Prashant Mathur of INS Virat. The 144-strong contingent is in front of us, presenting the salute to the President of India.
And immediately following the Navy marching contingent will be the Navy band playing the tune Jai Bharati. That's right behind the Navy marching contingent. And the band is led by Master Chief Petty Officer Hira Singh Kargi. That's the band there, playing Jai Bharati. Saluting this with the President taking the salute. That's the Navy band, and these are the elite Marine Commandos led by Lieutenant Commander Rajendra Singh Dahiya Nau Seva Medal. This is for the first time on display here are these Marine Commandos of the force, and also known as Marcos, highly decorated force of the Navy, trained for special operations. They rank among the finest commandos in the world. They are capable of handling all types of weapons and explosives. And they are working side by side with the Army Para Commandos in the Kashmir Valley. Very elite force. They are deep sea divers, paratroopers and specialists in undersea chariot operations, all rolled into one. Besides, they are all experts in unarmed combat, with each having a black belt rating. An elite force indeed.
Next to come is a tableau. It is Navy 2000, showing the modernity and preparedness for future of the Indian Navy. It's a 2-in-1. The first tableau carries a ship which is specially for protection of our far-flung areas, basically continuing with the 3 INS, that is Indian naval ships, that is INS Delhi, Brahmaputra and Kora, all of which have been built in India. The next one, Indian Air Force band, led by Sergeant B. Paul. Specially composed tune Tiger Hill is being played by them. Air Force March Pass Contingent, commanded by Squadron Leader T.S. Malhotra. He is an ace pilot with the Master Green rating. There's the band, followed by the marching contingent from Indian Air Force. Squadron Leader Malhotra is also supported by 3 more officers, namely Flight Lieutenant G.S. Butalia, Lady Officer Flight Lieutenant Suchitra Dikshit and Flying Officer Rajveer Singh, along with 144 men. Indian Air Force, great traditions of exemplary dedication and devotion to duty, both in war and peace.
And with this, we come down to the Mi-17 helicopter, which made a great name during the Kargil operation. And we have this Mi-17 helicopter, which is a logistics support helicopter, also an attack version of the helicopter is being shown here. We can see the rocket pods, which devastated the heights of various enemy positions. This can carry 192 rockets or 6 bombs, 6 machine guns, and it transported a number of troops into the area. And this is the MiG-21, the famous MiG-21, which carried out a number of sorties during the war, the Kargil war, and flying off the Ganesh Sawant is a proud pilot standing in front of the MiG-21. And MiG-21 is an interceptor as well as an air defense aircraft, and it safeguards the airspace of India, and it has made a great name for itself. In the MiG series, we have the swing wing MiG-27, and Flight Lieutenant Bhupender Khatana is the proud pilot saluting the President. And the MiG-27 can fly up to 1300 kilometers per hour low level, and it can move its wings from 12 degrees to 72 degrees sweep. It can carry an assortment of weapons, from rockets, from bombs, missiles, air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. And this aircraft actually is one of the mainstays of the strike force of India. And of course, we cannot forget the Mirage 2000. This aircraft, if any aircraft made its name amongst the fighter class during the Kargil operation, it is the Mirage 2000 with its precision-guided munition attack onto the heights of various targets. And Flying Officer, Flying Lieutenant Thakur was the proud pilot. Indra Radar 2, identifying and intercepting an incoming low-level attack spells success for any air defense environment. And this is what precisely what Indra 2 does. It is the second indigenously developed radar, and it has been produced by Bharat Electronics. It can catch aircraft coming at low level, and it fills vital gap in our air defense and network. Without the proper guarding of the skies, the air defense system would prove very weak. And this is what the Indian Air Force strike arm is all about. These are the various armaments. We have the R-60, R-73 missiles, Super 530D, and the Magic 1 and 2 missiles. Also the cluster bombs and the 1,000-pound bombs. The R-60 and 73 are air-to-air missiles. And of course, after that we have the Agni 2.
In fact, that we have seen so far is the awe-inspiring armory of the defense forces, and this is Agni 2, a state-of-the-art surface-to-surface missile, which is a major breakthrough. It has a range of more than 2,000 kilometers and is rail and road mobile, and it can carry a payload of about 1,000 kg. It has already been flight tested. These are the equipments developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and in the future we will be seeing all of them as part of the army. That's the Pinaka, which is another significant breakthrough by the DRDO in free flight artillery rocket system technology, with indigenous development of this multi-barrel Pinaka. The system can fire a salvo of 12 rockets up to 40-kilometer range. There are 2 launcher vehicles, 1 loader cum replenishment vehicle, and 1 command post vehicle. All of this part of the Pinaka contingent.
This is the first underwater weapon intended for anti-submarine warfare, developed within the country.
Another breakthrough, which we can see the blue vehicle at the back. Yes, indeed, this one is the Advanced Experimental Torpedo, which is a lightweight torpedo, a complex underwater missile indigenously developed by Naval Science and Technological Laboratory of the DRDO. It's the first underwater weapon intended for anti-submarine warfare developed within the country. It is totally software controlled and makes it versatile for changes to suit any tactical scenario.
Now the band, it's really multi-component one. It brings in people from Signals, Guards, Jam Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, Maratha Light Infantry Regiment, and the Mountain Artillery Corps. This is led by Subedar Govind Ram of Jat Regiment, carrying pipes and drums. Their play is Arnath, composed by Major Mansa Ram, who in fact is the coordinator of army bands all over the country. There's of course the proud contingent of ex-servicemen here, led by Honorary Captain Padam Bahadur Man, who is himself an Asian Games medal winner and Arjun awardee for boxing. Not without any lack of enthusiasm, great pride continues.
What we can now see are the paramilitary and other auxiliary civil forces band. This is in fact the Border Security Force band, approaching the saluting days, drawn from the various field units of the BSF. It's commanded by Inspector A.K. Nath, and they are playing the tune Vijay Bharat. Immediately following the band is the Bsf Marching Contingent, which is commanded by Deputy Commandant Ajay Veer Singh Kaliyar. The contingent of the Seema Praharis, or BSF as it is more popularly known, have been drawn from 8 frontiers of the force. They not only police the border but are doing remarkably well in counter-insurgency duties. And what we now see is in fact a unique Camel contingent of the BSF under the command of Assistant Commandant Shaitan Singh Bhatti. Beautifully and gaily accoutred camels of the BSF, these ships of the desert of Rajasthan and the inhospitable Ran of Kutch. The camel mounted troops have been instrumental in tracking down several notorious smugglers and extremists in Rajasthan and Gujarat. A very colourful sight and a definite part of the Republic Day parade. Always draws applause from the people here to see such a colourful sight and these wonderful camels so beautifully decorated. Immediately following the BSF Camel contingent is the BSF Camel mounted band, which we can just about see. This is in fact a unique band and has earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's the only camel mounted band of the world. And here today they are playing the tune Hum Hai Seema Suraksha Bal. We are the BSF, as it's translated.
Following the BSF contingent is the Assam Rifles Marching Contingent, commanded by Major Tanveer Alam Malik. Major Malik tips his sword in salute to the President, and this is the oldest paramilitary force of the country. The Assam Rifles have won 973 awards, including 2 Paramvati Seva medals, 29 Keep Chakras, Aman, and number of other medals. They are called the Sentinels of Northeast. Major Tanveer Alam Malik, very smart, and this is followed by the band of the Assam Rifles, led by Naib Subedar Guru, playing Assam Rifles song.
Assam Rifles band will be followed by Coast Guard marching contingent, led by Deputy Commandant Soumya Chandola. Indian Coast Guard is responsible for guarding over 6.2 million square kilometers of India's exclusive economic zone. They get credit for protecting the interests of the country. Along with, they have had the privilege of having captured a pirated Japanese ship last year, along with hijackers at the high seas of Goa.
This is the Central Reserve Police Band and playing the tune Seva Bhakti Ka Ye Pratik CRPF Kehlata Hai. It is led by Inspector Gandharv Singh. For changes to suit any tactical scenario.
Now the band, it's really a multi-component one. It's brings in people from Signals, Guards, Jam Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, Maratha Light Infantry Regiment, and the Mountain Artillery Corps. Is led by Subedar Govind Ram of Jat Regiment, carrying mass pipes and drums. They play Kedarnath, composed by Major Mansa Ram, who in fact is the coordinator of army bands all over the country. This, of course, is the proud contingent of ex-servicemen here, led by Honorary Captain Padam Bahadur Man, who is himself an Asian Games medal winner and Arjun awardee for boxing. Not without any lack of enthusiasm, great pride continues.
What we can now see are the paramilitary and other auxiliary civil forces band. This is in fact the Border Security Force band, approaching the saluting gates, drawn from the various field units of the BSF. Commanded by Inspector A.K. Nath, and we are playing the tune Vijay Bharat. Immediately following the band is the Bsf Marching Contingent, which is commanded by Deputy Commandant Ajay Veer Singh Kaliyar. The contingent of the Seema Praharis, or BSF as it is more popularly known, have been drawn from 8 frontiers of the force. They not only police the border but are doing remarkably well in counter-insurgency duties. And what we now see is in fact a unique Camel contingent of the BSF under the command of Assistant Commandant Shaitan Singh Bhatti. Beautifully and gaily accoutred camels of the BSF, these ships of the desert of Rajasthan and the inhospitable Rann of Kutch. The camel-mounted troops have been instrumental in tracking down several notorious smugglers and extremists in Rajasthan and Gujarat. A very colourful sight and a definite part of the Republic Day parade, always draws applause from the people here to see such a colourful sight and these wonderful camels so beautifully decorated. Immediately following the BSF Camel contingent is the BSF Camel mounted band, which we can just about see. This is in fact a unique band and has earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. The only camel mounted band of the world. And here today they are playing the tune Hum Hai Seema Suraksha Bal. We are the BSF, as it's translated.
Following the BSF contingent is the Assam Rifles Marching Contingent, commanded by Major Tanveer Alam Malik. Major Malik tips his sword in salute to the President, and this is the oldest paramilitary force of the country. The Assam Rifles have won 973 awards, including 2 Paramvati Seva medals, 29 Sikh Chakras, among a number of other medals. They are called the Sentinels of Northeast. Major Tanveer Alam Malik, very smart, and this is followed by the band of the Assam Rifles, led by Naib Sundar Guru, playing Assam Rifles song.
Assam Rifles Band will be followed by Coast Guard Marching Contingent, led by Deputy Commandant Soumya Chandola. Indian Coast Guard is responsible for guarding over 6.2 million square kilometers of India's exclusive economic zone. They get credit for protecting the interests of the country. Along with, they have had the privilege of having captured a pirated Japanese ship last year, along with hijackers at the high seas of Goa.
This is the Central Reserve Police Band and playing the tune Seva Bhakti Ka Ye Pratik CRPF Kehlata Hai. It is led by Inspector Gandharv Singh. Immediately behind the band, we can see in the blue uniforms the Mahila contingent of the Rapid Action Force, which is part of the CRPF Marching Contingent. They are led by Assistant Commandant Indrani Yadav. The Rapid Action Force, or RAF, is an elite wing of the CRPF and was launched in October 1992 to deal with riots and riot-like situations, with a special emphasis on human rights. That's very important. It's part of their training, in fact. The CRPF, in fact, is the only force in the country which has 2 Mahila or lady battalions. All the RAF battalions have Mahila components.
President Obasanjo appreciating the parade, and this brings us to the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Band by Sub-Inspector Surjit Singh leading and playing the tune Hum Sarhad Ke Senani. Hum Sarhad Ke Senani, Hum Sache Hindustani. The ITBP keeps vigil on the Indo-Tibetan border from Kharkoram Pass in J&K to Lip-Lup Pass in UP. The ITB band is followed by the ITBP Marching Contingent, commanded by Assistant Commandant Suresh Kumar Yadav. Suresh Kumar Yadav has presented Salute Eyes Right, the President of India, and the ITBP Marching Contingent marches towards India Gate. The force braves the inhospitable climate and sub-zero temperatures up to minus 40 degrees Celsius. With that, we come to the Central Industrial Security Force.
CISF, as it's known, led by Assistant Commandant J.K. Tiwari. They are responsible for protecting the interests of 235 public sector undertakings, including the oil and gas installations in Bombay High and other regions, steel factories, the space centers, atomic energy plants. They also have done tremendous service to the nation in producing judo and taekwondo champions. And they have 7 Arjuna awardees. Their motto, protection and security. Following the CISF marching contingent is the CISF band. The Bsf Marching Contingent, responsible for protecting the industrial units of the country, falling under the public sector. The CISF band now on display. Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja. They are led by ASI J. Gill.
And this is the Delhi Police Band led by Inspector Sangwan. 3 assistant sub-inspectors and 8 head constables and 72 constables make this band. And this is followed by the Delhi Police Marching Contingent. As every year, they are the pride of the parade. They are the only force which carries a 303 rifle. Shri Sanjay Kumar is leading this contingent. They have won Best Marching Contingent 9 times out of 13 times. The Madhya Pradesh Home Guard Band is now in front of us with Sub-Inspector M. Khan playing the tune Home Guard March.
And following them is the marching contingent from the Home Guards, led by District Commandant Suresh Kumar Thakur. 20,100 strong volunteers, out of whom 600 personnel are deployed exclusively into Naxalite campaign under Jan Jagaran Abhiyan, that is Home Guards. 4 gallantry medals, 2 life secure medals, and 18 President's Home Guard medals, and of course civil defense medals as well.
Died during the course of strenuous duties, and they have won 4 gallantry medals, 2 life secure medals, 18 President's Home Guards, and civil defense medals.
After the paramilitary forces, we see the youth of India now on parade. NCC, National Cadet Corps boys marching down. 148 boys have been drawn from senior division of the 3 wings of the Army, Navy and Air Force National Cadet Corps. From all over the country, they are led by Senior Under Officer Pradeep Sharma, symbol of national integration and nursing ground for India's armed forces. Builds youth into a fine set of citizens for India.
That's the NCC boys band with 45 cadets forming a part of it, of the junior wing led by Sergeant Jahangir Khan. They are playing the tune Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, and that's the NCC girls marching contingent led by Senior Under Officer Sarvajot Kaur. Ladies are part of the NCC and the armed forces today and are marching hand together with men into the 21st century to make India a proud country.
Not to be left behind by their male counterparts, the ladies are also joining as officers.
And from the NCC marching girls is the band of Birla Balika Vidyapeeth Pilani playing Sare Jahan Se Acha under the leadership of Company Sergeant Major Diksha Gagrani. Birla Balika Vidyapeeth band has been coming for this parade for over 40 years, and they have won the hearts of the crowd every time they get an applause. Sare Jahan Se Acha, played by the Birla Balika Vidyapeeth Pilani band. It requires great amount of practice, and they have really made a name, and they deserve that. This is again a bird's eye view of the parade, and we have the NSS, National Service Scheme contingent of 148 volunteers led by Srimati K. Vimla. To foster the spirit of community interaction, the NSS inculcates the spirit of voluntary work among students and teachers through sustained community efforts and interactions. And there are 13.5 million volunteers today in NSS. The present thrust area of special camping program for youth.
Masked pipes and drums brought in from Sikh Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, Dogras, Gurkhas, TF Chalan Defense Security Corps. They're all playing the tune Sare Jahan Se Acha, the familiar one, led by Subedar Them Bahadur Thapa of 2nd Corps Gurkha Rifles. There's a fine glimpse of the panoramic view of the parade marching down. The 3 chiefs. The naval chief is not here today, only the vice chief is here on closure. And now the pageantry procession starts, the tableau, 31 of them being presented on this occasion on the Golden Jubilee celebrations of India's Republic. The first one from Human Resource Development Ministry, Department of Culture, displays We the People of India, bringing alive the fact that on the 26th of January 1950, the people of India had adopted the Constitution. People walking from different walks of life, all walking and working in conformity. Unity in diversity is our strength. Parliament House on the second part of the tableau, displayed here in all its grandeur, supported by the judiciary. The Supreme Court of India's model seen at the end of the tableau. There's a model of the Supreme Court.
That's the last part of the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Department of Culture, We the People of India tableau, which shows professionals from different parts of the country, and that's of course the resolve of becoming a technologically advanced country as we move into the 21st century with satellite and other communication. And immediately following them is the Delhi tableau, which is a homage to the martyrs. Delhi is the national capital of India and it boasts of many historical monuments, and this India Gate, which we saw in the morning also, is of course one of the most prominent landmarks of Delhi. The tableau is an attempt to pay homage to the supreme sacrifice made by our brave soldiers in Kargil. The front part shows 5 soldiers on Tiger Hill, holding the tricolour proudly and indicating our victory over the enemy. And the second part of the tableau shows people from all parts of the country at the India Gate paying homage at Amar Jawan Jyoti.
And here's the tableau from Assam. Indian tea, especially that produced by Assam, enjoys an international reputation for its
That is the tableau from Assam in the northeast, where tea, of course, is one of the most important products and is enjoyed worldwide. It's an international reputation for the flavor of the tea from this part of the country. Assam produces, in fact, the maximum tea in the country and contributes directly to the national economy by way of export. The tea industry is also the largest employer in Assam, and this tableau depicts a typical scene among tea garden with the workers, how they collect the tea. There was a huge basket, and of course the entire process of tea making. This is the tableau from Karnataka on Yakshagana, which is a fascinating dance form. In fact, it's a beautiful folk theatrical form in a dance style. Very colorful, and the essential elements of Yakshagana are music and dance with few narrative lines. So you can see the performers right in front in their very elaborate outfits. Sometimes this dance form is compared to the Kathakali form, which is in Kerala, because of the elaborate mask and makeup and the costumes. However, it's very indigenous to Karnataka and very different to Kathakali. Tableau shows the two styles of Yakshagana, the main two schools of it, which are basically from the north and the south of the state. So the difference in the masks, which we see in the beginning, in the front part of the tableau and at the rear end. And of course, the sea waves depicting the rhythm of the sea.
कर्नाटक की इस धरती के बाद अब शिक्षा विभाग अपनी धरती में दिखा रहा है शिक्षा मंत्र से
And the Department of Education brings in Mantra Se Yantra Tak. 100% literacy and universal primary education are some of our cherished dreams. A literate and educated people will help the nation in achieving still greater heights. With the coming of the Vedic age, the Gurukul system of learning was established, and by 1950s we had a proper school system in place. Here is a typical scene of the Guru and his Shishya. The teacher and the taught has a great place in Indian philosophy. The tableau is presented by the Department of Education as an earnest attempt to evoke the excitement and importance of education. It is the educated people which lead the country to greater heights.